मैं किनू आखां माए नी मैं किनू आखां दर्द बिछोड़े दा हाल नी माए नी मैं किनू आखां दर्द बिछोड़े दा हाल।
Unheard cries for the help on the streets of Pakistan. Such images are just the tip of an iceberg on how victim families of thousands of missing Pakistani citizens were brutalized.
इनको मत तशद्दुद करो हम पे और जोर मत करो हमारे प्यारे वापस दे दो।
During the past military regime, victims were silenced when they protested against what appears to be an institutionalized global underworld network of kidnapping, torturing, and handing over people to the US under the cover of so-called war on terror since 9/11. Like thousands of other children, the tears of this little girl has been trickling down on the roads in search of her father for years. She has now grown up without her father returning home. She nurtures an insatiable revenge, recalling how her brother was disgracefully brutalized by police when she was a child.
God give me 3 wishes. I will wish one wish that to kill that person who touches my brother that day. I wish I could kill that person, seriously.
Official figures on missing Pakistanis are hardly 1192, but right activists believe that the actual statistics may be well beyond 10,000 people.
Oh, America, shame is on you, shame is on you. They abuse you, oh my sister, I feel.
Among the lead cases of rendition is that of Dr. Afia Siddiqui, a Pakistani neuroscientist. She was allegedly kidnapped by Pakistani intelligence agencies in 2003, only to be handed over to the US for her suspected links with Al-Qaeda. The US authorities, however, failed to come up with evidence of her links with Al-Qaeda. This is what many believe led to the US to fabricate a story of her attempts to kill American soldiers while she was in US custody in Afghanistan. Her 86 years controversial imprisonment has led to build up a fresh wave of public outcries in Pakistan.
American atrocities have been continuing. Our people are being bombed and our sisters are being raped and they have been kept in the illegal custodies and no one is listening to them. So the anti-American sentiments is growing and growing at an exponential rate.
The struggle against enforced disappearances has become a public debate, but with a little impact. Do countries sell their own citizens? Unfortunately, in case of Pakistan, yes. Hundreds of Pakistani citizens were virtually sold off to the US in so-called war against terror, and there is a lot of evidence on this. The evidence on the whereabouts of missing citizens is now a matter of public record. In his autobiography In the Line of Fire, former military ruler General Pervez Musharraf took a pride in 2007 for handing over hundreds of people to the US under the cover of so-called war on terror. Here is what General confessed, something which is a criminal offense under Pakistan's law. I quote from the back page of his book, "We have captured 672 and handed over 369 to the United States. We have earned bounties totaling millions of dollars," unquote. The tragic stories of missing Pakistani citizens was a key factor behind the ouster of army generals from the direct military rule in 2008. It all began with the illegal removal of Supreme Court's Chief Justice Iftikhar Muhammad Chaudhry in March 2007, when the court dared to question the military and intelligence agencies regarding the whereabouts of missing Pakistanis. This triggered a mass movement forcing General Pervez Musharraf to step down in 2008. With the return of civil rule, the top judges were also restored, but victim families have yet to see a change in brutal tactics of illegal kidnapping in Pakistan. There's a seething disappointment among these victim families with the government for failing to secure the release of their loved ones from the illegal custody of powerful intelligence agencies. But the kidnapping of Pakistani citizens is no more a stigma of the past military regime. Alone during this government, more than 170 people have gone missing since early 2008.
There'll be 5 years living without my husband. Don't they know how I'm surviving? How my small kids have grown up? I have no financial resources. All the business is ruined. There is indirect involvement of US in almost all the cases of missing persons.
However, a spokesman of US Embassy in Islamabad clarified that the embassy has no information to substantiate allegation of US involvement in missing Pakistani nationals. On the contrary, there is ample evidence about US role. Asad Shah is among few lucky Pakistani citizens who were released by intelligence agencies only after they were interrogated by the US agents. His crime was to leak graphic details to the media on a controversial military operation that led to the killing of hundreds of students inside Red Mosque in Islamabad in 2007. Months after his capture, he was projected in the media as a human bomber trying to enter into Islamabad to explode major strategic installations.
The way they behaved in the torture cells, no one can explain in words. They will ask you to put off your clothes. Then the most dangerous and the cheapest technique is that they will take your sister's, or if you are married, your wife's name, and they will say that if you will not admit it, then they will be in front of you and we will do whatever we want.
The government usually assures the victim families that their loved ones would be back soon, something the victims do not believe anymore. In cases where government prosecuted some of the suspects, courts mostly exonerated them from the charges of terrorism. Now victim families are complaining that their loved ones were again picked up by powerful intelligence agencies just after they were released from the jail. This is a situation where courts and government seems to be helpless in proceeding against the officials of powerful intelligence agencies in the saga of kidnapping.
It seems to me that there is a state within a state, and neither President Zardari is in control, nor Prime Minister Gilani is in control, nor the 4 chief ministers are in control. And frankly, at the risk of my life, I'm asking, is the Chief of Army Staff in control, or is the ISI, IB and MI in control of Pakistan?
The tragedy is roaming on the streets of Pakistan, where the miseries of missing citizens continue to be overlooked. Javed Rana, Press TV, Islamabad.
दर्द बिछोड़े हाल नी माए नी मैं किनू आखां दर्द बिछोड़े.
The growing tide of anti-Israel sentiments. What you see behind me is just tip of the iceberg of what is happening in the country. More than half of $52 billion black CIA budget is spent on espionage network in Pakistan. How would you handle it?
The US has looked upon Pakistan as an ally at one point and then as an enemy at the same time.
That is going to be the first legal reason on the basis of which he is going to be instantly
ousted by the Supreme Court of Pakistan.
Joining us live, Javed Rana, who's an expert on politics and geostrategic issues.
In the world politics, which is not being driven by any moral principle, it is being driven by the hard geostrategic realities. In a broader picture, more countries would aspire to have nuclear weapons.